completely new thing altogether, wasn't it? So we see.
As I say, good kind of effects at the time with like Shamrock with the blood and on that impact.
You've done a good job there of selling that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought there would be that sort of ending to it, so I guess there's no harm on Shamrock. What do you make of that one, Matt? Sort of what we expected, I guess.
That was a good one. But I liked that was told well in the story sense that he came out there injured. It shows it didn't do any harm to Shamrock, but it served the purpose of getting Billy Gunn through to the next round. Like unquestionably, that you can't really say, oh, Shamrock should have won that because he did look pretty messed up.
Yeah. So as we move on to now our next match, then Matt, which I believe now it's going to be Road Dogg and China.
This one should be interesting.
Yeah. So again, another very DX themed night that we have going on here. But by this time, Triple H and China, now they had joined the corporation, I believe. This is '99 after that WrestleMania, so they would have been coming off the heels of that. Just to give everybody a little bit of info about this show taking place on June 27th, 1999, from Greensboro Coliseum. The attendance for this 19,761, and they just come off the back of a show called Over the Edge. I remember those titles actually. Going on there. Now, Matt, when we talk about, I know we mentioned this last time especially, but when we jumped from 97 to 98, how much things had changed. When you see the entrance looking at China here with everything going on, like in 2 years, Matt, it's like watching another promotion, isn't it? It's not like, it's the same company, but it's like a new promotion that have taken over and just, put so much into it.
You can see a definite injection of cash has come into this here. I like this style here. This is how I always fondly remember like WWF at the time. I just really look at compared to what was on the other channels, the production quality of this was just so much better.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And then they did have everything was going in one direction for WWF at this point. In terms of ratings and just the business in general was just doing so well. Now, Matt, we spoke about China as well a lot on our podcast, and when you think of women innovators, she's without question probably in the top 3 or 2, I'd guess, or especially when you see her in this sort of thing competing against the males. It was just unheard of back at that time. But in the end, you got used to it. Like I used to watch China in matches, and I'd be so used to it I didn't even think about the idea of male versus female. It was like she was that good at making it. Like I never felt there was a disadvantage because of the way they done an incredible job. I will give props for WWE the way they used China. They probably done it right. I can't say that they muffed up too many times. And I think it's kind of obviously I think as far as records and things like that, she's held so many of them Royal Rumbles. Obviously now the King of the Ring. I don't recall any other female taking part. So I guess, Matt, it would have been a retitle of a Queen of the Ring had she won this one at the time.
It would have been. Yeah, and I like the way they do kind of give China like the recognition it does kind of. It's like they call it the ninth wonder of the world, didn't they? So if there's another one, have to be the 10th now because they said Andre was the 8th, didn't they? So that's good. Obviously, compared on that kind of level.
Yeah, it's a big statement when they do that that kind of thing. And I would still. I know there's very political issues and stuff like that, but she definitely deserves, without a doubt, to be in the WWE Hall of Fame as so many other people do that are out there, but I know that sometimes it's down to politics. But that aside, China should be easily an inductee to the Hall of Fame, and unfortunate that she wouldn't have been around to see that. I mean, that's the most unfortunate, sad thing about it, because I think that would have, it's easy to say things in hindsight, but like that might have been so good to her her kind of well-being and her kind of mental health at the time, to have that recognition from something that she loved doing, because, you know, without doubt she deserved it. So for people that may not know China that well in wrestling terms, I recommend people go and watch her matches. Especially, she had some brutal matches with Bob Holly and Jericho. Those matches are very, very good, of China back at that time. So in this particular time, I mean, although she, you know, Road Dogg, he's popular and all the rest of it, I'm guessing people might have thought, you know what, WWE might give China a little run here, in this King of the Ring.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been great to see that kind of thing, but I'm not sure. You know, this was all very brand new to people at this time. I'm not sure people would have been ready for her to take it up another level. I think beating one person you can be fine with, but taking the whole competition, I'm not sure people would have been ready for it.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a good point. I will say another thing, some info about this as this match goes on, is that there was a dark match that night where Meat, believe this, Matt, Meat, you remember him, defeated Kurt Angle. In a dark match, yeah.
No way.
So I'm guessing that's pre-Angle on TV time, where he was just getting used to it. But yeah, there you go. Meat holds a record match. It's in the books. He's beat Kurt Angle once upon a time. So there you go.
Not believed it.
Going on there, as we see, and you know, just watching China here, Matt. She really did hold her own. I mean, she's also she's a great worker. You know, she obviously studied. I mean, I know she had Triple H, who's a great, you know, would have been a great mentor to somebody. But she obviously wasn't stupid. She understood the psychology of it, how to work a match. Because obviously here it's kind of a heel run.
That's what probably makes her like a woman that will. It's probably once in a lifetime like you'll ever see someone like that, because it's so rare to get a woman who's built like that, and not only that, has like the dedication and the actual like the in-ring knowledge to actually put it all together. You know, that's going to be like nearly impossible to get anyone like that ever again.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I know today we're blessed with some great talents like Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Bayley, but in China's terms, I mean, again, it's a different era, so I never compare people that are in different eras, because you just can't. It's just like something completely different. But in terms of China, because she was like completely on her own at one time doing this kind of thing, I think, you know, what an innovative thing she was at the time. When you look back at it, at a time where, you know, women in WWF were only really showcased as, you know, valets and just, you know, your typical big boobed kind of woman. That's what you got. But China kind of made that her own thing back then, and, you know, went on and was so successful. And, you know, props to her. As you know, Triple H getting involved. I mean, here's an interesting thing. It's interesting to see Triple H sort of on the outside for a change, Matt, I guess, for China.
I'm thinking, what a compliment that is as well, because usually it's China on the outside with Triple H, but like vice versa, the fact that Triple H is actually out there to support her, that's a big like statement as well.
Yeah. What did you make, Matt, of what we're seeing?
I think it's quite good, actually. I think this is like one of the better matches. You know, like the fact that, like you say, it was a man versus a woman. You know, China versus Road Dogg. I've actually stopped seeing it like that. I've just started watching it like I would any other match, like it was just a regular thing. Like, this is like standard. You know, it's not even questioning into my mind, because I'm thinking, well, it's just so seamless the way they're working together.
Yeah, I think that comes down to also like the way they first used China. Like they, on the first time, they made her look strong. They never had her like, oh, you know, poor woman kind of feel to it. They put China over strong, and I think that was the best thing they ever done for her, because when you get it off to a start like that, then it helps. I think if you had it the other way round, where it was like, you know, the woman's getting hurt more and she's a comeback wrestler, that would have been a hard to sell it. But the fact they got her off the bat in such a way of strong, I think helped her going forward, and sort of stopped people from watching it as a female versus male kind of competition, which it could have easily have fallen into. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they always work together as a team, like, and really done it really well, Triple H in China.
Yeah.
And this is just him taking over her role, but it didn't really matter which way around it was. It works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Triple H, very helpful there. In that sense.
I think Road Dogg was losing anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Road Dogg very much on the back burner in this match for me so far that I've seen. Let's give you some more trivia as well as this match goes on. What else do we have that night? Now on the Sunday night heat before this, we would have had what do we have? Midian and Viscera defeated the Big Boss Man in a handicap match. Prince Albert defeating Val Venus.
I hope that was like before Naked Midian.
Yeah, please. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. And what else do we have? And the Hardy Boys were also on heat, and they fought Edge and Christian to a no contest in the #1 contender spot for the WWF Championship. So there you go. There's lots of going on. I think that would set up what we actually get on King of the Ring for those guys, but we'll see. So, like I said, Heat was a little bit more wrestling driven as a pre-show, as opposed to what we get now, at least.
So I'm guessing this is actually one of the longest matches they've had so far this night.
Yeah,
which is another thing in itself, saying that like they deserve the spot for the longest time so far.
Yeah, yes, it is. I mean, it's by far the longest, actually. Road Dogg's attire, like I know when he first came in, he always had that sort of the top on, the trousers, didn't he, mate? He never chanced it without.
No, it was interesting because you didn't really see too many wrestlers wrestling with tops on.
Yeah. The atmosphere, like, I mean, I don't know if it's as buzzing as last year's one that we watched. People seem really into that going, but still, it's still like, I mean, when you look at the roster, okay, maybe they're not the best as far as workers and wrestlers, but they're so over, like, these characters. They're so over with everybody. It's incredible because nowadays, when we watch a wrestling pay-per-view, you watch the first few matches and you're like, yeah, that guy's finding it hard, that guy's almost there. It's always that kind of thing. But here, everyone seems to be on par. Everybody seems to be like, okay, they're not the main event, but everybody knows them. Everybody is really engaged into what this character is, what it represents, who that person is, what they like, what they don't like. They did an incredible job, story-wise, of getting the characters to where they are. For everybody to sort of get involved in. It's just something you just do not see as much these days.
Don't you think it was like slightly incredible though that China wins the Intercontinental Championship 3 times, yet she only holds the Women's Championship just once?
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I don't know if that was a time when she hurt her neck the first time, and then she kind of went to the women's division to just get that title, and I don't know if it was just like as a kind of way of like celebrating China. I'm not sure, but I'm sure something like that happened. But yes, it's even incredible to think, the amount of intercontinental runs that she had in a way.
Yeah.
I think as a female as well.
I'm definitely surprised that like the amount of time they put onto this match. Like they're obviously saying, well, China's got the stamina. Road Dogg's going to have it easy. He's just got to lie on the floor a bit.
Yeah, certainly China doing most of the work.
I definitely had the impression that when Triple H started getting involved, that would have been near the end.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be a very interesting end to this. How they're going to pull this one round.